Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Gayle Carson. Welcome to Living Regret Free, a program that shows you how to live a better and more joyful life. As an added bonus, I invite you to listen to an introduction to my Mindset Matters program, which ties into this so well. Go to www.sobmindset.com. It's free, and I know you will enjoy it. If you'd like to contact me personally, drop me a line at gaylecarson13@gmail.com or go to my website, www.spunkyoldbroad.com, and sign up for my weekly newsletter.
Hi, everyone. This is Gayle Carson, and I have a wonderful, wonderful guest for you today, Jani Roberts. She is the co-founder and co-CEO of Alignment Essentials, a health and wellness company spanning the fitness, self-improvement, and mindfulness spaces. She's the creator of Warrior Workout Moving Meditations, Inspirational Conversations, and all of the Alignment Essentials programming content. She had over 40 years of experience in the health and wellness field and has owned and operated a large gym franchise in Florida where she specialized in health and wellness related services, products, and preventive health education. And she now owns a private boutique studio offering personal training, small group fitness classes, and private nutrition and health coaching. Welcome to the show, Jani. How are you?
Oh, well, thank you so much. I am fantastic and absolutely honored and thrilled to be here with you, Gail. Thanks for having me.
Well, you'll be very proud to know that I already did my 2 hour workout this morning. So,
Impressive.
and that's kind of what keeps me going at my age and all the things that I do. But yeah, I'm kind of a fitness fanatic. But I will tell you, with all the surgeries I've had and all the things that I'm going through, and my age, it's getting harder and harder. But I just keep going no matter what. So let
It
me
is a
ask you.
choice. We have to keep going.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Well, you had this uh, big company that you worked for, and now you've got this small boutique studio. So, what inspired you to start Assignment Essentials?
Well, Alignment Essentials, I'm sure you can relate to this and your listeners as well. I think once we get to a certain age, we start to really gather all that we've learned, and things are born from that. So as I was wrapping my last job in the fitness industry where I was working for another fitness brand and I helped to launch that, a lot of gifts and ideas were coming to me and I was really starting to formulate, okay, what's the next step? Once I'm going to be 57, I'm kind of on the cusp of the boomers, if you will. And when I was turning 50, I said, okay, now what do I want to be doing, for the rest of my life? And all these ideas were coming together as I was traveling internationally. And I found these common denominators among people everywhere, no matter where I went, whether it was Asia or Europe. And that was that most people were not looking for a six pack, thank goodness. They were looking to just live a more peaceful, joyful life, a more satisfying life. And that's where this whole mind body fusion with fitness started.
Well, I totally agree with that. I'm a big believer in what I always say, going to bed with a smile and waking up with a smile. And I was reading somebody's Monday morning message today, and he talked about happiness is having dog fur all over you. And of course, I usually have cat fur all over me. So I think all of that contributes to happiness. But so what do we do? I mean, why now? And what are the what ifs? What are all those
Yeah, the
things
what
that you're
if.
talking about?
Right. So this really began with understanding our why. What do we want? Our big, why. Why are we here? What do we want? And it moves around through life, right? I mean, things we experience this contrast. You and I think we were competing for how many surgeries we both had. So I've been down that road too. We have a lot in common there for different reasons, but we all hit these bumps in the road, if you will. And what I came to understand, learned from my mentors and found, I consider my clients my mentors as well as those who aren't and have mentored me. But I really came to these what ifs, and they are big And some people might go, that's a little out there. But I really came to find this truth for myself. What if nothing was more important than that we feel good? And when I ask people that, a lot of times they'll go, you don't know what's going on in my house. My kids only care about what makes them feel good, or my partner or my boss. But just what if nothing was more important than that we feel good? And I think this is a foundational teaching and a starting platform. So we have to really look at what we want. And for a lot of people, they haven't thought about that in a really long time.
Well, it's true. I think people sometimes have their emphasis on the wrong thing. And of course, sometimes, life gets in the way, Janie. You get up in the morning and phone rings and it's some crisis of some sort that you didn't count on that throws you behind. And then, you're playing catch up all day, and then there's something else that happens, and it gets to be 11 o'clock at night. You don't even know what you've done or where you've been or any of those things. And that's what people are trying to avoid, but it isn't easy. And that's one of the reasons why practicing the kinds of things that you preach are so important. So what do you recommend to people? What steps can be taken so they can live a more satisfying life? And of course, they have to do it on purpose. If they don't do it on purpose, it will never happen.
Right. And you're a perfect example of that, because like you just said earlier, I know this is what I have to do in my mornings. I walk my dog for 2 hours in the morning. It's kind of my church. We all have our rituals, and I think it takes us some time to figure out just exactly how important they are. So people like ourselves can really help people. Through our own process, right? Our trial and error process. So we take people through a step-by-step process. And the first step, it sounds simple, but it is powerful, is setting your intention for the day. So literally when we first wake up, it is game changer to identify something that you feel appreciation for. Now, we created these things called moving meditations, and we tiptoe people, and it is a step-by-step process in using these. They're a 90-second to 3-minute process in the morning where you just meditate. It's a guided meditation with music and a little bit of movement, stretching, that type of thing, where you are really focusing on something that you feel grateful for. And again, this can be simple. When I started this process, and I still use this, I would wake up and I would say, I just love my bed. I love my bed, because I travel a lot. And it's not the same. And so when I wake up in my own home, in my own space, and not everybody has a bed, not everybody has a pillow. Some people are struggling. So we also don't want to take these things for granted, but everyone can find something.
Well, that's so true. It's so true. Of course, I do very well in hotels. I spend a lot of time in hotels as well and do a lot of traveling, and I happen to sleep very well in them. But, I love the idea of, music and doing movement for meditation, because I am not a great meditator. I don't do it well at all. But I think if I were doing some kind of movement, I've never thought about doing movement with meditation, because I always thought you had to be in a set place to meditate and kind of zone out. And I just don't zone out. So
we're all different.
Yeah, that's really interesting to me. But I was also thinking about your dog. He probably says, 2 hours, Mommy? Come on, 30 minutes is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, there's a process.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
In the woods, and there's a process. So this is a game changer, though. Seriously, I love what you said about how people can just get pushed into their day, and then things go off early, and then you really literally do spend your entire day trying to get back on track, if you will. So what we're really doing here is we're setting our intention for the day. Then we teach people how to move from this moving meditation process into visualization. And this is a 5-minute process. This is not something, that needs to take a lot of time. 15 minutes of meditation is plenty on a daily basis. And we just start people out with 3 minutes, and they move at their own pace. But the thing is, you see the difference right away. So let's say, for example, you're doing this visualization. You've got a bit of an idea what your day is going to like, and you take 5 minutes to visualize it going the way you would like it to go. You have a meeting that you've prepared for, or you have a lunch date with somebody that you've been anticipating, and you just visualize how these main things for your day are going to go. 5 minutes, you're already in a state of appreciation. And this is the difference. And we all, myself included, I have to work this practice all the time. It's not like it just comes like that to me. It's easier now than it used to be, but I still have to work my practice. And when something interrupts that practice, and like you said, sometimes life gets in the way, I can tell the difference. And that's why it's valuable to me to work the practice. If I don't set an alarm, I pretty much have an inner alarm now. And if something happens and I get thrown off, let's say, you get up, you set your intention, you're all good for your day, and you get to your office and there's that person that just always throws your energy, for a loop, or you get thrown a situation, like you said, it just, it's like a left hook, if you will, and you're just like, whoa. And you go from a very good feeling place to way out of alignment. So what are you going to do?
Yeah,
you have to make a choice.
What do you do?
Yeah, it's a key moment in life, right?
Yeah, because I was thinking, you certainly can't always do this in the middle of the day when you could or I could because we have, our own businesses, but people who are working in an office cannot do this. So what kind of conversations do we need to have with ourselves?
This is where the inspirational conversations do come in. Now, I have clients that have been in that situation and told me, I excused myself. I needed to go to the restroom. I went in the restroom. I did the moving meditation. I know it now. I just breathed. I thought about the music. I maybe had it on my phone. I listened to it. It took me 90 seconds and I just took some deep breaths and I went back out there in a much better feeling place so that I could focus and I could calm myself down, because the minute we feel ourselves winding up, we all know what that feels like. And you just know it's like, this isn't going to be pretty. I can feel myself going there. I can go from 0 to 90 pretty quick myself. But when you get out in front of it, if nothing is more important than you feel good, that means you have to start paying attention to how you feel. And when you work that practice, you can get out in front of things before they really knock you down.
Well, it's true. It is a learned skill. Some of us can do it better than others. Some of us can do it more naturally than others. But it is a learned skill. So, some people, I guess, would consider it selfish to be doing this, but I know you consider it not selfish to create the life that you want, because after all, if you're living the life you want, you're more valuable to yourself, to the people around you, and to anybody that touches you. So it's certainly something that you need to do. So what do you think, what should somebody do other than meditation, other than, going into that place for a minute or so? Is there anything else they can do to create this peaceful, happy life around them?
Absolutely. This is very important. So the practice of paying attention to how you feel. And then secondly, the next what if would be, what if you didn't come here to get it done? Now, what this is doing, what these questions are doing, is they're starting to help people to find really what they want in their life. And as I mentioned earlier, it's amazing how we get on this life cycle, right? We come in, okay, I'm supposed to do well in school, graduate, get married, have children, whatever those belief systems were that you were taught that this is what's going to define or make your life a happy life. And then for most of us, we follow that path. And sometimes it is very joyful. We have our kids or whatever, and that part is good. But you can ask anyone, man or woman, male or female, somewhere in there were some bumps. This didn't go down exactly the way I thought. This is not exactly what I was looking for. This is harder than I thought it would be. So these questions are key because this is going to help direct you. So if you get to the point where you can say, I didn't come here to get stuff done. I didn't come here to check stuff off a list and just go through the motions. You start working towards that purpose, and that's where that meditation comes in. And so that practice of those daily steps work. And then there's a step of forgiveness that is absolutely huge, meaning, what if I couldn't get this wrong? And I don't mean, what if I'm going to get this call wrong with Gayle? What if I don't deliver? No. That's all easy because I can prepave that and I can visualize that and I can focus on that. I'm talking about my life. Like, what if all these things I've done in my life that I've been told were big mistakes, or I believe were big mistakes, what if they weren't mistakes? What if I can't get it wrong? This really is a ton of guilt. And this is where we bring in the idea of a practice of contrast and understanding contrast. In other words, you got to know hot to know cold. You and I have experienced a ton of health challenges. Every time I go through something like that, the first thing I realize is how much I appreciate my body and my mind and how well they've served me.
True.
There's that
Absolutely.
contrast.
That's
and
true.
I move into a state of appreciation immediately because a minute ago, I was healthier than I am right now. So I'm constantly reminding myself to be in a state of appreciation. My body is fine. My mind is fine. I don't need to look another way, act another way. I need to really own who I am and understand that this is just me sifting and sorting. That marriage didn't serve me. I'm going to send a thank you letter because now I have a clear understanding of what I do not want in a relationship, which means I'm closer to what I want in a relationship. And now I can lighten up and I can start having fun with this game of life instead of being so serious and feeling so guilty all the time about not being whoever it is those people think I'm supposed to be.
Well, it's funny because you talk about, possibly writing the story of your life. And I always talk about, what would your obituary look like? Because,
I love it.
what would you want people to say about you? And it's really interesting because people, they just don't think about it. They don't want to think about it, and but it's important. It's important. So I'm just wondering, when you talk about writing the story of your life, what do you give as suggestions for that?
Well, we start people with like an adult coloring book journal item. And what they do with that is they have a few statements that they just kind of fill in the blank. This is a great practice to move you into very quiet meditation down the road if you choose to do that. But it's really, again, paying attention to how, like, what's the first emotion that you felt when you woke up? Okay, let's say you went to bed and you were really angry and you couldn't shift from that anger. You did some moving meditation. You did you pet your cat. You do things that make you feel better easily, but you still felt that anger. Well, the best thing to do is go to bed because when you go to bed, you take a nap, you stop thought. Now, when you wake up, it's not like you're cured from that anger, but there's less momentum around that anger. So until you start thinking about it all again and start getting that momentum going. So the first thing when you get up is you pay attention to how you feel. You write those things down and you begin this journey again of that step-by-step paying attention to how I feel. And it may sound simple, but you can shift your life experience right away. And you start making notes here about what is important to you and finding your way there. But you find it through paying attention to how you feel.
Well, let me ask you something. I know you deal with both men and women, but who do you deal with primarily? Mostly women?
Yes.
And what is their biggest complaint or fear or where do you see them? I mean, what do they say to you?
I think the biggest thing I hear from women is they don't think they really have a life. They don't think they're making a difference. They don't feel like they're having an impact and they don't feel balanced. It's hard for them to sit quietly. They feel like there's so much to do. The list is always overwhelming and they're being pulled in many different directions by their partners, by their children, by their bosses, and there's no I, there's no me. And they feel like they're getting lost or they are lost on their journey. They don't know what their intention is. They've kind of lost their way.
Interesting. Because one of the things that I talk about for my women over 50 is that they begin to feel invisible. And yet you're working with all ages and they feel invisible. So I just think that's amazing, that they kind of all go there in that particular way. So what other things do you involve to get people feeling their best?
So one of the things that we really encourage people to do is to retreat. Adult retreats are magical. We do them in the summertime in the mountains in Pennsylvania, and this has been life-changing for our clients. We didn't have this when we first started. We just started a few years ago, and this is a place that I grew up, and I have always gone there when I'm having my meltdowns. And that's where I've been able to heal very quickly. It's a very high energy area. And I've just done very well there. And at first I selfishly thought, I don't know if I want to share this with anybody. And the more I meditated on it, I thought I have to. This is a very special place. So we started, and it's been very successful. And women are able to, and men come too. Sometimes couples come, but it is mostly women. And they come to, we encourage them, disconnect so that you can connect. You got to take a minute for yourself. You've got to be, it's hard for women sometimes. I'm going to leave my kids. I'm like, how can I do that? Easy. Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
It's just a few days. Just
That's
try.
interesting. Yeah. It's really interesting how all of this comes together. And of course, your title, your company is called Alignment Essentials.
Mm-hmm.
So it's getting it all in balance. Well, we have about 5 minutes left. So first of all, I want to see, is there anything that you'd like to offer to our listeners, that would get them interested in what you have to offer, or any free gift at all, or?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. If they would like to go to our website, it's www.alignmentessentials.com, and just enter their information. Make a note that they heard your show, and we will send them a gift of a free moving meditation, a retreat discount. I believe my business partner, Sabrina's got a little fun package put together. I know both of those items are absolutely always included, but we may also throw in, an extra little discount on clothing. We have a really good vibes kind of brand that we like to share, kind of wrap yourself in love kind of thing. And we would love to give them, whether people work with us or not, we are very clear that this is our work to do, is to allow people to know that there are ways to live a more peaceful, empowered life. It doesn't need to be so crazy. And you work with women every day and you inspire them to do this. And I do have to say one thing, Gail, I have to work on my tombstone, because you're going to have funky old broad, and that's the best thing I've ever heard in my life. So I got to come up with something really fun like that, because I want people to be looking at my obituary laughing.
Well, that's great. That's great. And folks, in case you just don't know how to spell Alignment Essentials, it's ALIGNMENTESSENTIALS, alignmentessentials.com. And, the interesting thing is, I sometimes think, Jani, that people don't take the time to even think about what alignment is, what it means, or how to do it. I think
I totally agree.
I think we're on such a fast pace that,
Mm-hmm.
and I know I was like that. I mean, I totally got up, worked the entire day, and of course I had 3 kids and 5 dogs, 3 cats. It was like and then finally you would get to a point where you'd be able to breathe. But it was a fast pace. However, I must tell you, I loved every minute of it. That's just
Same.
my energy
Absolutely.
level.
I love to work.
Yeah, exactly right. So, if you find your passion, if you find what you love, not what people tell you to do, but what you want to do, that's the key. That is the key to everything. So,
and it is possible. It's possible. We really want people to know you're never going to get this done anyway. When you get it done, you croak, right? So let's have fun on this ride. Let's enjoy this ride.
Well, that's the truth. I've been listening to, shall we say, people who practice meditation and are wiser than I am, and they always say it's never done. Exactly what you said, Jani.
Never done.
It's never done. As soon as you think it's done, something else happens. It's never done. So we have about a minute and a half left. Is there anything else you'd like to leave with our audience? Any message at all?
Just want to say that we're all in this together. There's really no one alone. If you can just kind of open your mind to these ideas and begin to play with them, and it really is fun. It's playful. This doesn't need to be serious. It doesn't need to be one more thing you have to do. This is what's going to make the rest of your life simple and easier. It's going to flow. Things are just going to feel more like you're swinging downstream instead of upstream. You're not pushing against. Life is supposed to be good for us. This is the truth, not just for some, for all.
Absolutely. Well, my guest has been Jani Roberts. You can reach her at alignmentessentials.com. Go there, put your information in. You'll get a nice gift. And it has been a pleasure, Jani. And good luck to you because you are doing the work that is out there that is so important that a lot of people don't recognize. So we want to appreciate what you are doing and best of wishes from all of us.
Thank you, Gayle. Right back at you. You are a real mentor to me. I've been listening to a lot of your podcasts, and you're making such a huge difference in other people's lives. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of this.
You're welcome.
Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed today's show. I choose my guests carefully, so if you have someone you'd like me to interview, please drop me a line at gaylecarson13@gmail.com. In the meantime, check out my intro program, Mindset Matters, at www.sobmindset.com. See you next week.